Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Smash Up. It's not really an unboxing, except it is because we're talking about the big Geeky box set and the bigger Geekier box set. So this is the first one that came out. They made a storage box to hold all the sets that were currently out. I don't remember up to which set that was. I think it was either What Were We Thinking or Big in Japan. I think it was one of those. Might have even been that 70s expansion. So when this came out, what they did was, obviously if you had, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 9, 10 expansions, as well as the base set. And you have them all in different little boxes. So they gave you a box to put everything in. Other things it came with, additionally, was it came with the Geek set. So this is the first place to get the Geek set if you didn't have that. As well as it came with an extra set of bases, just with a little, same as the originals in all the other sets, just I think they updated the artwork a little bit, like just made it a little bit crisper, or it might have been like some of the stuff where it's behind, they may have fixed that. Nothing, like they didn't change any of the text or any of the rules, and none of that stuff. That also came with dividers, so that way you could put dividers in on all of yours. And then every future set that came out after that had its own divider. So that way every new set that comes out now will always have dividers that come with it. So it may have went up through Oopsie Did It Again, because I do have these. And they were actually, but these ones are also in the set as well, I believe. So like, I think they may have just crossed over for some reason. But you can tell though it's different though, is that none of the other ones have anything on the bottom. They just have the set. All the new ones now are going to look like this. And in the bigger Geekier set, they're like that too. They'll tell you what set the box came from. And that's just to help you out if you need it. You want to know where it came from, or if maybe someone's playing like, ooh, that set's cool, which one did that come from? You know, and at this point, if you have all these things mixed together, you probably don't remember where they all came from anymore. There's also dividers for the bases. Just a general blue one that looks like the back of a base card. The only reason I don't have it out here is because I have it in my other box. So it's going to just be bases. Just that way you can separate your bases out. And that depends on how you want to sort them. I guess some people might sort their bases just as separate. Hey, all the bases are here. I'm just going to mix and match them. Other people might put the bases with the faction they go with. So that way, if like you go to play as dinosaurs or cyborg ape, you can pull their two bases out to go with them. That way you're only using the bases that are, that really work with the various factions that are being played as. That's entirely up to you. So I guess it's, dealer's choice on which way you go. I personally I'll keep them all together. I'll mix and match them. Someone might draw a base, it might work a little bit better. But then again, that's the whole Smash Up. You never know what you're going to get, what'll work better together. So the other thing I want to show off on this before I talk about the bigger Geekier box set is, so I don't even know if you can find this one anymore. If you see it, I'm only showing it off just because you can see the difference between this one and the other one. So if you want to make up your mind on which one to get, so maybe if you see this at like a gaming store, or like a garage sale or something really cheap, and you're like, hey, I could use a box for this, or it's on clearance somewhere, I can pick this up if I want it, or do I just spend the money to buy the bigger one? So we're going to look at, this is every single set that is currently out, with one exception, is I do not have the Marvel set in here, because I don't own it as of this video, but that would add another, I believe, is it 8 different groups? Yep, so I would add another 8, like a regular base game. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to add another, basically 8 in here. So I just want to show you how full this is. So this is what it's going to look like. It looks really nice. You can easily flip through, see everything, see which sets you want. Again, how I personally sort mine is I always put the divider behind the card. So that way when I see it, I can grab what's in front. But that's just how I do it. Again, everyone does it a little bit differently. I have all my bases right here. This is all my bases for every set. This includes up to the single sets that came out, which are the Goblins and Knights of the Round. As well as the promo sets, like I got Penguin, Sheep, I got all the Titan cards in here. Plus the other ones that come with the other sets of Geeks and all that. And then like over here in this little section, it's a little bit separated. Or actually, sorry, right here in the back, is I have my Munchkin sets. I have them separate just because I kind of figure most people probably just, there's enough other factions. I think if I'm going to play Munchkins, I'm probably just going to play Munchkins separate. So their bases are separate back here, which is where I got my second bases. Now, I have two because I have one from this box set, one from the bigger Geekier box set. So just to be aware that you're not going to probably get a base divider, extra base divider, if you separate your Munchkin set or your Marvel set. So if I buy Marvel, I might not have a base divider. I might. It might come with it. I'm not for sure. But yeah, so assuming I add in another 8 in here, it's going to probably take up the rest of these 2 slots because I'm going to have extra bases, extra things. So it's only going to leave room for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 or 9 more. So I'm going to get maybe one more full base set in here. Or after the Marvel one, or like maybe 2 other big box sets, or like 1 box set and a couple other small expansions. So this box is basically full right now. I'm not going to get too much more in here. And that also being said, is there's no room for an instruction manual in here. I try and throw a book on top of here, so this is like the book from the base game. It's not going to even fit in there. First of all, and I don't believe this came with any. It may have come with like a collection, like just kind of explain some of this stuff. But the base game one's not going to fit in here. And here's the stack of all of the other instruction books from all the other expansions, not including Munchkin. But clearly those aren't going to fit in there either. So you'd have, and then if you have all your tokens that you get from every set, all your VP tokens, also where you're going to do it them, you can drop them in a little baggie or container in here, but now, again, I have no room for anything else. So this is me saying, if you only own a couple of the sets, you can find this really cheap. This is probably going to work for you. Just instructions could just like have one base instruction, just throw it in there. So at least you have the rules in there if you need a reminder on that. You just won't have it, maybe rules for specific factions or clarification for some cards. But it is definitely a doable box. Or keep the other base set sitting around to throw all your instruction books and your tokens in there. But it is doable. So now I'm going to pause the video quick and we're going to pull out the bigger Geekier box set and show you why I honestly believe you may should just spend the money to buy that, which might be your only option if you're trying to buy off Amazon or a gaming store. One moment. Alright, so now I have loaded all of the cards back into the bigger Geekier box set. I love this cover though, it shows off pretty much every single faction. So yeah, this box is quite a bit bigger. But it holds everything, and there's other reasons why it's bigger. So, if we look at these side by side, you can see there's a height advantage. It's almost, not quite twice the height, but it's like 1.5 sizes bigger. There's a reason for that, because it has a tray that goes on top, which I'll show off in a minute. And then if we look at look at it this way, so if we look at width-wise, it's about a row bigger, and you can kind of see in there from right now. It has 4 rows instead of 3. So that 1 extra row is going to give you a ton of room. The other thing is, the other box does actually stick out a little bit longer, so it's a rectangle versus this is a square. So you lose a little bit of space, but that's probably only like maybe a faction, maybe 2 in that little narrow gap. The other thing I did forget to mention with the bigger Geekier box set, it does come with a bunch of foam spacers as well. So these foam spacers are these little gray blocks. I love these for board game boxes because you can use them to like separate different sets out or keep stuff from falling. So I'm gonna actually pick my camera up here and we're gonna look at this from the top down. So you can see I have divider or foam spaces in there to hold everything. But here's the full box set. I know it's a little bit blurry. There we go. But you can definitely see it still goes right to the top of these boxes. It actually sinks down a little bit lower than right on the top. Where the other set, it was right to the top of those. So it's kind of nice because then they have a little bit more flexibility space. And I just put the little foam blocks in there just so they fall forward. They're not right up against the front. But yeah, I have all the different sets in here. And then the last one is I just have my bases and my munchkins. So when I buy the marble set, I can probably just, take out one of these foam blocks if I had to. Or I could move some of these guys over, move my bases over, and just have this be Munchkin and marble. Because I'll keep marble separate as well because it has, like Munchkin, has some extra, a little bit different rules. Still compatible, but it's nice. But you can clearly see there's plenty of extra space in there. So if I slide these forward, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9 more factions in each, roughly. In each one, maybe 8 in this one. But yeah, not the other set we said what? I'm going to get maybe 8. So maybe a base set, maybe 2 boxes. Here I can get almost a full, I can get 3 times as many just in this first column in each box. As well as I'm going to be able to get how many more in this set as well. That's when I take these out. So it's going to definitely last me quite a while longer. I guess if they release another 5 more box sets, then I might have to do something different. But even at that point, I could just decide, if they keep going that long, they keep releasing a ton more boxes, I'll probably just take Munchkin and Marvel out, and I have another full row to do. Maybe I'll use my other box set for just the alt sets. So there's that. I'm going to set this off to the side there. The other thing you're going to get in this box set is you're also going to get the Geek set, which is, let's see if I can find it. So you're going to get the Geek faction, which when I'm done describing, when I'm done going over what else is in this box and that stuff, we'll go through those really quickly. But you're going to get the Geeks, which were in the other box set as well. But you're also going to get the All-Stars set. Which, let me see if I can find it. So you're also going to get this set, which is the Smash Up All-Stars, and again, we'll go through all of them like I do with the other videos. And this was originally a convention or promo exclusive, but now you can find it in this box. So not only are you getting just storage, all the dividers for everything except the new sets that came out afterwards, but you're also gaining, you're also getting 2 extra factions. It includes one that is the only probably way to get it right now. So 2 other awesome things you're going to get in this box is you're going to get this extra, bump my camera, you're going to get this extra tray here. So this tray here, and this is actually another nice thing about this little tray here, it's going to have all your you can put all your tokens in. So as you can see, I have tokens filled for every set. You have your 1s, your 5s. I have 2 empty holes, so like I said, I can fit probably just currently right now I can fit in the first 3, like 3 more base sets. So if they give me more tokens than that, then I'm going to have to start figuring out what to do there. But yeah, you get to a tray, you can pop this out if you want. Or you can just pop off the lid. The only thing I don't like about these tokens, so if you start pulling any of these out, the 5s out, the 1s start to slide into that spot. So you kind of got to like take a bunch of the 1s out to get the 5s in. So like if you're emptying them completely out, you're pulling out an entire set to play with, you're going to put them back in. That's probably fine. If you just pull it like 1 or 2 for some reason, they're going to kind of be a pain. But I have them sorted out by different box that they came in. The only reason these 2 are separate because they're different colors. It's the green and the pink ones for Cthulhu and Pretty Smash Up. Otherwise, all the rest are just for whichever set they go with. The other thing you get in this is you get this little side pocket, which I just have my extra wrappers in there, which I like to store my boxes. But what you're supposed to do is put your bases in there. And now, they're a really tight fit with these sleeves on, because gaming companies don't make stuff designed to play well with sleeves for some reason. Although, again, so if I didn't have any of these sleeved, I could probably fit, half a dozen more sets in there, because every sleeve takes up, not very thick, but they take up an extra little bit of room. But the idea would be, is you put your, you can put your bases in here. And they do stick up over the top even normally. So you might have to, like, even if you lay them down in here. But there's another option, is I can like take out the Munchkin, or take all my bases out and put all my bases in here. If I needed more room. So there is definitely an additional option for space there. Or dump all your extra tokens, or whatever. And then this entire tray. And this is why there's such a big gap in this box. Just slides right in there. That sits comfortably on the top, which is really nice. Now, again, the issue, it gives you those handles, which are really cool. And you just lift that out quick. The only issue, again, we kind of run into the same issue as we got the other one. Where do you put the instructions? It's going to lay on here, but this is pretty solid right to the top. So, one set of instructions will fit in here okay, it won't be too bad, but you couldn't put a multitude. But they did fix that. And this is the other thing I do want to show off, is we're going to get this giant instruction book, which will fit nicely right on the top. It kind of sits in just enough. It sits in just enough to basically, so it's not going to be an issue. But this is the Smash Up comprehensive rulebook for now. This in itself is almost another reason to buy this box set. So if you have a ton of these different sets, this is going to go over everything you need to do, how to use this book, everything's in there. So this is what it's showing it's going to have in here. It's going to have your Geek Faction, All-Stars, Card Dividers, Cubic Space Rulebook. It does not come with a bunch of the foam dividers, like the other one did, so there's kind of a downside there. But this book goes through everything. So it's going to have all your different types of cards. Minions, actions, bases, your special cards like Titans, Madness, Treasures, and Monsters from Munchkins. The action cards with power. Just so you know what they do. All in one spot. So, do your basic stuff all the rest of the book did. Telling you to smash stuff up. This is... Next, make your base deck. You don't have to play with all the bases at once. Each set comes with bases meant to go on with your factions. But if you shuffle all 120 or more, there isn't much chance of getting them. So that's how they kind of mention using the specific ones to them. But it also shows like how to set up for the game, mixing all the tokens, setting aside your special decks if you need to. What to do on your turns, all the rules, like everything you expect from a rule book. How to award stuff, break ties, scoring summary, which is really cool. It's actually really nice. It breaks down like exactly when to do stuff. There is no step 11. plus then just consolidates all the specialty stuff. So like, what are +1 counters, power counters, how do they work, how's the magnet stick work, monster treasures, how those all work, and scoring, how titans work, burying, duels from the Oops, You Did It Again set, including the little pictures for those, because they kind of make a difference in how you play stuff. All the terms and phrases that you're going to want, so minion, like effect, cancel, control, before a base scores, attach, and or discard, end of turn, just all these different terms, got 3 pages of them. So what may means, what have means, here means, ongoing, player abilities, specials, standard, to, this, there, talents, when, well, you, your, anything you would need to know, it's basically in here, which is really nice. Detailed rules for other stuff, so calculating breakpoints and powers, card abilities, conflict and timing, what extra cards, attached cards mean. So there's a situation you don't know how to resolve, work out the best you can with the attitude of fun and fair play and a sense of humor. Afterwards, you can email us for questions. Then they also added in this rules change in errata. So over the years, they've had to fix stuff. So general rules, I just kind of want to go over this in case you're interested. Says, if you search your deck for a card, you must always reveal it and show it to your opponent, even if it doesn't mention this. When a card that others can see goes to your hand, deck, or discard pile, it goes to the one belonging to the owner, i.e. the player whose deck the card came from, no matter who controlled it. So unless the card specifies, like you put a card in your hand or your discard or whatever from another player, if it gets destroyed or returned, it always goes back to that player. And you no longer need a minion on a base to receive VP. You can qualify by some other means, such as the power action cards that have VP, or there could be other things that do it as well. Then they did do some other changes for cards. Several cards from earlier sets have had your text corrected. I'm not going to go through all of these, but they do list them, like kind of what they do, like specific ones that they change. A lot of the things they did was they just specified, and just a quick general, is they added ongoing to stuff, to lots of them, either like stuff that says just goes till the end of turn, or like you choose your controller, but they add a lot of the ongoing, like just to make sure you realize that it's an ongoing ability, just because they didn't list them in the first couple of sets. Again, like lots of the Cthulhu ones that added the word ongoing, or end of the turn, next turn, this turn, little things like that. Like none of it is, they didn't like change like how the entire card works. They just specified like you can't target that card itself, or you can't, or it only lasts till the end of turn. Or things like that, just to make it clarified. Then they have card clarifications. So here's some different stuff going through by class. So by your faction, so minions, actions, and titans by the faction alphabetical order. Just things that they maybe had to like, hey, this is how this works, in case you weren't for sure. And it goes through all of them, page after page. Diva has a giant text because it has a lot of rules to it on how it works. But then they have those for all the different sets. I'm not going to go through all of these. But yeah, that's definitely cool. So the only ones it doesn't have in here, I believe, are the World Tour sets. For big sets. They weren't out yet. And then Goblins, and the Knights of the Round, I think, were the other two that weren't out as of this. Then here we also have stuff about bases, just by name, if you have questions about all the different bases and what they do. Then this is actually really cool in itself. So this is the description of all the different sets that you would have found in each of the books. But then it also mentions if they have something special, which I'm like astronauts are using power counters, or the clerics set bases use monsters and treasures. The changer box has an optional titan. This doesn't mention the titans from the Titan pack, just because they aren't forced to have them. But they do specify, like Explorers uses power counters, has an optional Titan. So it is mentioning that they have them, or it uses the Magnus decks, or uses treasures, which is really nice. And you kind of have an idea of what does what, just a little bit about each one. It would have been nicer or cool if they would have had a special thing for. They actually went through, also said what each one did. Like, this card's all about, generally about moving bases, or this is that. That would have been really neat. But they didn't do that. That's alright. Then we also have this. Does one or more player want to play the same faction? Great. Combine 2 copies of the appropriate set so people can draft the same faction against one. Remember, you can't put 2 of the same together. Which actually would be very interesting to do, is have a second set of everything. And just see, like, it'd be really interesting to, like, granted, trying to mix and match all these and play them all against each other would take forever, and there's not enough time, because there's over, I don't know, how many thousands of combinations. But it'd also be interesting to see how well sets play if you just had a full set of the same thing. Here's all of the different people that are involved: game designers, art directors. I like to show these guys off, give these guys some love. It's just some legal mumbo jumbo. All the play testers. And pause it if you want to try and find your name if you're on there. Quick basics, really nice. Setup, your turn, scoring, winning, additional rules. Then the back is the last thing I'm going to show off on this before we jump into the little booster packs. So here it references all the factions sorted by set. So every set in alphabetical order, and then what they all have in them. So this does not have penguins in it either. I don't see. So it's missing penguins. Basically the small packs that came on the set. And then they actually just sorted by the actual faction itself. So if you're wondering, oh, if I buy the set, what comes in it? Or if I like this faction, what box is it from? And then the same thing, base cards. So each faction, and then what base cards belong to that. And this is also helpful if you're trying to sort stuff back out. But yeah, this is definitely an extra cool thing right there. I'm going to kind of see if I can freeze frame that up there, so if anyone wants to really look at that. Alright, so that is what we got. Now we're going to look at the Geek expansion, and then the All-Stars expansion, and that will be the end of this video until they release more stuff. See you guys later. Bye. We'll see you in that part. Alright, we're going to look at this special Smash Up All-Star set. So this was part of an original, like, promo set. They had, like, going around, I don't know if it was a tournament promo or how it was. But it was originally the only way to get it was by going through these promotional events. But then now they've added it into the bigger Geekier box set. So this is the second box set, not the big Geeky box set, but the bigger Geekier. You can get it in there along with the Geeks. So if you want both this and the Geeks, buy the brand new box set, the bigger one. That's the only way, one of the only other ways to get this. It's probably the cheapest way to get it. So let's take a look. This is a very interesting and unique set. So it is All-Stars, which is a play on basketball, where in basketball they have, a little basketball on there. End of the year, they usually play All-Star games where they take, like, some of the best players from each team, put them on, like, different teams and have them just compete against each other. And that's basically what this is. We're mashing cards from all the other different sets. So, our first minion is we're going to have, let me back up and we'll zoom in on this a little better. We have the Servitor of Cthulhu. So on the bottom down here, it's going to say, find more minions of Cthulhu in the obligatory Cthulhu sets. I'm going to tell you where to find this. But now these aren't just taking the like character or the art or like a minion like based on that set. This is the exact copy of the Saboteur of Cthulhu from that set. Let me see if I can find that one really quick, because I am... So here would be the original one. Talent: destroy a minion and place an action from your discard pile on top of it. So here we have the regular version. So that's actually what this is going to do. It's going to have different versions of each of these characters. So here we have the Fang from the Geek set, which spawned in the big Geeky box, or the bigger Geekier box, if you depending on where you got this one from. So special, on your turn you may discard this card to draw a card, and she's going to play a cheerleader. We have the Sprout from Killer Planets from Awesome Level 9000. Ongoing, destroy this card at the start of your turn. You may search your deck for a minion with 3 power or less. Play it there as an extra minion. Shuffle your deck. We have the Ensign from Star Roamers in Citizen's Assist. Ongoing, when an opponent plays a card that directly affects one of your other minions here, you may have it affect this minion. These are kind of like some of the fun cards from all the different sets, which are really neat. We have Puck from Fairies in Pretty Smash Up, playing extra action or drawing extra card. The Lab Assistant from Mad Scientist in Monster Smash, place a +1 power counter on another one of your minions. So the Lab Assistant's the woman, and she has the Frankenstein's monster, which is kind of neat. The Imperial Dragon from Dragons and It's Your Fault. Ongoing, after another player plays or moves a minion here, draw a card. We have the Gelf Genetically Engineered Life Form. The original Smash Up Globe Shifters play on the Globetrotters. So using Shapeshifters from Science Fiction Double Feature. Target, search your deck for a non-Gelf minion, power 4 or less. Shuffle this minion into your deck. Play that minion here as an extra minion. We have a Granny from the Granny's What Were We Thinking set. Talent, look at the top card of your deck. Place it on the top or bottom of your deck. And our final minion is we just have King Wreck from Dinosaurs in the Smash Up base set. So you have all different minions, all different powers, all different abilities. Kind of like the Geeky set and some of the other sets. The Geek set, there's no unifying theme in here at all. Because it's just some of the best cards, which you might make it seem overpowered, but you're not going to have a general theme. Alright, so we're going to have some more. And I believe there's only one card from each faction. There might be some, there's going to be some from multiple sets, but only one from each faction. So we have Seeing Stars. Destroy a minion of 3 power or less. These are the ninjas from the base set. We have Begin the Summoning. From the Elder Things in the obligatory Cthulhu set. Place a minion from your discard pile on top of your deck. You may play an extra action this turn. It's Astounding from Time Travelers from Science Fiction Double Feature. Playing action from your discard pile is an extra action. Full Moon, Werewolves from the Monster Smash. Playing a base, each each of your minions here has +1 power. This is the only duplicate one. We have Non-Infinite Loop, which is also from the Geek. So we have 2 of them from the Geek set, including the Fang. But this is going to say, choose an action in your hand to play as an extra action. Then you may put it back into your hand instead of your discard pile. Friendship Power from Mythical Horses from the Pretty Smash Up. Move one of your minions to a base where you have a minion. You may place this action into your hand instead of your discard pile. Ghostly Arrival from Ghost from Awesome Level 9000. You may play an extra minion or extra action. Square Deals, Teddy Bears from What Were We Thinking? Because they're all like, oh, look at the cute teddies. As they're about to score. Draw cards until at least one player has fewer cards in their hand than you. We have the Favor of Dionysus, who's selling wine. It's favors. So he's from the Mythic Greek set, and it's your fault. One of your minions gains +1 power till the end of turn. Playing extra action. You may play this card on top of your deck instead of your discard pile. And our final action is going to be Prepare for Battle. From the Astro Knights in Cease and Desist. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Place one into your hand and the other on the bottom of your deck. Yeah, so it's definitely a neat set. It'd be awesome if they made more, because that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus the base set, so 9 sets. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more outs. I mean, it wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't get them all, but it'd be cool to add some of the other characters. But we're also going to get our new location. So these will be brand new cards that aren't available anywhere else. So we have the Stadium, which says, after a minion here is destroyed, its controller draws a card. Which I want to look at this really quick down here. So we have a Space Invaders type ship. We have some of the Y-wing type ships, and some of the telephone booth. Yeah, just some of the ships are kind of trying to be iconic. And then we have the locker room, where all sorts of bad stuff is going to happen. Necronomicon, there's a ghost doll, a samurai sword, some plants, all sorts of different things on there. Some claw marks, little cage for a bird, pirate hook. This is at the start of your turn, if you have a minion here, draw a card. Helps you out. Preps you. So the locker room would do. So yeah, that's the All-Star, Smash Up All-Stars. I would love to see them do another one of these. Like picking some more cards from the other sets they didn't do, the ones that are out later. Because there's also like enough other single packs. It'd be really neat to just, I don't know how they would call it, because again, you can't really name this stuff All-Star Smash Up a second time. You have to call it like, I don't know, something different. But that'd be definitely cool. Or All-Stars 2 maybe, like just have it have a different symbol. But yeah, that's available in the bigger Geekier box sets, the easy way to find it. Otherwise, it could be a promo pack available somewhere online, but it's probably expensive. Alright. Alright, so we're going to look at the Geeks faction, who are available in both the regular big Geeky box and the bigger Geekier box. So if you buy just the original one, which I'm not even sure if it's even going to be available anymore. But you got two different ways you can get the Geeks. Are in one of those 2 box sets. So let's jump in and take a look at them. And they're your board game geeky characters. So we are going to have some Fangs, and they have a little meeple and die symbol. So we got 4 copies of the Fang with some Smash Up cards. And you've probably seen her picture on some of the other cards if you watched all the other sets. Special. On your turn, you may discard this card from your hand to draw a card. So let's just get rid of her to get something. We're going to have some Game Gurus. Ongoing. This minion is not affected by other players' abilities. Then we're going to have 2 other special cards. We're going to have Celebrity Felicia Day. Which says move all minions to this base, so everyone's going to gather to her. And we're going to have Will Wheaton from he's on the TV show, YouTube show Tabletop. Also on Star Trek, and Felicia Day's been in a bunch of other stuff. As well, like Eureka and the Guild, plus other things. They're both famous gamers and things like that. It's a special. You may play this minion when an opponent plays an action. Discard that action. It has no effect. So someone plays something, you can basically nullify it. So that's kind of neat. Get some different characters there. Then our actions, we're going to get a Force of Will, which is a double play. It's with Will Wheaton, as well as there's a magic card called Force of Will, ILL. When an opponent plays an action, discard that action as no effect. So it's basically a recreation of his thing. We have Cosplay. So you have some people dressed up as a gnome, an alien, and the zombie lord. Special, when you play, when you gain 1 or more VP, gain an additional VP. We have min-maxing, which is a term in like role-playing games where you try and get the best stats you possibly can. It's a simple explanation. Look at your opponent's hand. You may play an action from that opponent's hand as an extra action. We have 2 copies of Rules Lawyer. So, transfer an action played on a base to another base, or transfer an action played on a minion to another minion. These are gamer terms. Rules lawyering is when you're someone that's just stipulation. Someone does something, you have to look it up in the book and say, this is exactly how it works. We have the banned list. We have 2 copies of that, which is for each other player, name a card. Look at that player's hand. They must place any copy of that card in their hand at the bottom of their deck. So it's not really banning them necessarily, but a banned list is cards that can't be played anymore. We have a control minion. So choose a minion. You control that minion until the end of your turn. Special, when another player plays a minion, you gain control of that minion until the end of turn. We have a mulligan. With the top 5 cards of your deck, you may draw them and shuffle the rest of your hand into your deck. So it's kind of the option, at least, to see what it is first. Then we have a griefer. Choose one effect for each other player. That player discards a random card or destroys one of his or her minions, or shuffles his or her discard back into his deck. And a grifter is a person in a game that just does stuff to annoy other players. Which is definitely what that card is going to do. And the non-infinite loop. Choose an action in your hand, play as an extra action. Then you may put it back into your hand instead of your discard pile. And lots of games have broken mechanics for that infinite loops where you do something that keeps repeating. And technically the only way to stop it is for you to impose some rule to make it stop. This is sort of like that. You play an action for free. You play this, you play an action for free, then you get to put it back and play it a second time. So it's not an infinite loop, but you get to really use the card. This is definitely an interesting little faction because there's all sorts of different abilities. I like that they keep making those. Not all of them just have a unified theme. Sometimes having a little bit of splash of everything can be helpful too. So our locations are going to be, the bases are going to be the con. When a minion is played here, other minions here of that faction gain +1 power till the end of turn. And we have Tabletop, which is a board game YouTube channel. The winner draws 3 cards, then discards 2 cards. So it's definitely interesting too. So those are our geeks. So again, they're only available in one of the box sets. Either one you can get them in. Alright, there we go.